What up, Fishtank people? Fishtank TV. Yeah, I'm making a fishtanktv.com. Dustin's Fish Tanks, bringing it to you. It was raining last time we were working on this TV tank. Today we're sweating balls. Say what's up, Brian.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah, Brian, just straight ninja with this shit, man. Straight ninja. So where we left off, we were gutting the inside of this TV here. We had these little brackets that came in. You had all that electrical stuff. We removed all that. We've got those. Obviously, those are a gots-to-go situation. It's real easy. We just flip the TV, you know, over either on its front, preferably on its back, and there's 2 bolts. Go ahead and flip that up and just show us. Yeah. Yeah, just
tip it backwards, unscrew the screws.
Yeah, real easy right there. So those are gone. But then that leaves us with a pretty decent surface area. Before we talk about, we're going to talk here in just a second about supporting this, but I just want to talk about what we're doing here internally with it. Brian is holding a piece. All this stuff was like sticking in here. You can see this piece.
This is what held the wires. This is where your sensor shines in. We're just going to remove that so we have a flush surface on the front. Remove this from here so we have a flush surface.
Go back to that one there. All right, so yeah, that's all in. That was in there somewhere like that. And the fun part about this is it's just, you know, breaking it. I mean, we just cut it, and you know, you got to be careful with it. Careful with it, and it's fun because I get to do the cutting and Brian's like, cut this. But yeah, so we've been cutting this. I left this on here intentionally just to show you, like, this is no bueno here. So we have to you know, continue to cut that off. And then another thing Brian did, it's a very heads up play on his part. There was a speaker. Could be banging with that thing, huh? Some serious woofer action from 1960 or however old this TV is. But obviously that was there. That's now removed. Brian's put a piece of cardboard in there so that you can't see through there, which, you know,
just light would shine through. It would look funny having light shine through on little slits on the bottom.
So we've got that done. All he did is just put a screw through that piece of cardboard. You know, you could probably color it black if you wanted to, but this is the important part, Brian. So let's talk about this. We've got this vented bottom here, which is no dice. I mean, this wood just looks kind of crunk. I don't know how you guys can see it. I mean, it just doesn't look that great. So what we're gonna do is Brian's gonna flip this thing back, and we're gonna show you what we're up to here. And obviously, you always want to flip it backwards so that you're not messing with the front. You get scratching it up or anything. So we've got this underside here. Now, there's a couple of ways to do this. And first, let's talk about why we're doing this here. A 29-gallon, a gallon of water weighs 8.8 pounds times, you know, 29. You want to call it 255 pounds roughly, plus or minus with gravel and rocks. So if you're supporting 255 pounds, you want to make sure you do it right. So you could really, you know, have some issues here. So Brian and I were talking about this. Brian, what's your recommendation for? There's some options. You've done some things some different ways here. So
yeah, there's a bunch of
get down a little bit, and show us what we're doing here. So
all right, basically you got a 6-inch gap below the bottom piece of the TV itself. We want to support that. You can use about anything to support it. I've used bricks before in 3 spots throughout the middle, just so that the tank itself, when it's sitting on the bottom, is not going to come crashing through this big gigantic empty hole here. What you want to measure is the height at the edge. This is the exact amount. This tank we got 6 inches.
Let's show that here.
6 inches on the side. So that's what we need to support in the middle, so that the TV itself is flush all the way across the bottom and will support the weight evenly.
Right, we're hanging 6 inches, folks. And so we got the bricks, or not the bricks, excuse me, we're using, what are these? 7 inches by 1.5?
1.5 roughly.
So 1.5 times 4 gets you your 6 inches. So
we've just cut these. These you can set in place once you have the TV where you want it, in your bedroom, in your house, wherever you're going to put it. You'll set these down on the floor, and we'll set this down. If you want, you can actually mount something to the side to hold them together, put some super glue between them, put some Elmer's glue between them, just so they stay together as supports.
And we cut, obviously the cuts really don't matter all that much. You know, crunk cutting, whatever. It was just some scrap pieces of wood we had. So that's really where we are with that. We're gonna probably super glue these together, or, you know, wood glue them together, whatever. And that will be adequate, yeah, Brian? I mean, that's plenty enough.
That's gonna be just fine. If you want, you could even take a little bit of wood glue on the bottom here and actually glue them to the bottom. My first TV tank I ever did, because we're actually going to elevate the inside as well, you could screw from the inside into this back piece here, but you want to be careful just so that you don't have any screws hanging over or anything, so that nothing's going to make it uneven inside. But wood glue would work just fine for you. It's going to support it. Once you have the weight of the tank on top of it, they're going to hold together. They're not going to fall apart on you.
Okay, and then let's take these out and let's flip it up real quick, and we're going to show you guys. This is a really critical part aesthetically with the tank, okay? So the dimensions of a 29-gallon tank, it's 30 inches our wonderful 29-gallon tank here. It's 30 inches across, 19 inches up and down, and then it's what, like 13 roughly on the back. So the problem is, Brian, and get down and show this here, is we're going to do the through the TV shot. What we've got here is we want to make sure that the tank is actually in the window of the TV. So
if we were to set it flush on the bottom, 19 inches would end here. You'd have this entire 1.5 to 2 inch gap on top with nothing.
Yeah.
So we actually want to put supports on the bottom as well on the inside of the TV frame, so we can elevate it up about 2 inches. So that the lip of the tank actually sits just above the inside window.
So we want the lip, and let's just show that again from this angle here. We want the lip
of the tank right about here. We don't want the lip below this, or else you'll see light through it. In the same instance, you want to have only glass showing in the area where your TV
and that's important. That's what we're trying to do, right?
Yeah, you want it to look as natural as possible, like it was made to be this way. So from top to bottom of this TV right now, we've got 23 inches. So we've got 4 inches to play with roughly. We've got to remember later on we'll put lights in. We'll talk about that in the next video.
Okay, so we've done our measurements, and we looked and we realized that we need to raise this up 2 inches, I think. So we're going to raise it up 2 inches. So we've already got these pieces here. Go ahead and rotate one of those ends. So yeah, we got 1.5 inches here. Well, that's not going to cut it, but what we're going to do is we've actually cut this piece of wood here. This is actually a scrap piece of wood. You'll notice that the corner, that doesn't matter. 31 inches across, sits down in here like so. And yeah, we've got it up. And the reason we did that, like we showed in the last video, is we don't want it to be too far down. But let's go ahead and slide this TV tank in, my man. The moment is zen, folks. So we slide that sucker in.
You may have to put it in from the front depending on how big your supports are on the back.
Yeah.
Which is not a big deal. Just be careful not to lift the tank by its rim, because you can really damage it.
Yeah, we're going in from the back. He meant the top. So going in from the top down. We were fortunate enough to be able to get it in there. But let's just go ahead and show this here. So that's what we're working with, folks. Show me what you're working with. So that's what we've got. A couple of notes worth considering here. With your TV, every TV that you're going to be putting in is different. So we want to show, real quick, Brian, I want to show the back, the top part here, how we have limited room for the lighting. In the next video, we're going to do lighting and filtration, but we're going to go ahead and show this. So you got to watch, because you don't have so much distance and talk about this, Brian. You have very,
like, you got approximately 2 inches now worth of lighting space, and that's about it. Depending on what kind of lighting you have, and a lot of my TV tanks, I've used the Eclipse hoods because it's completely enclosed and you can actually set them down just briefly inside the tank and it won't affect the lighting. But if you're trying to do an open top tank, you want to make sure that your light is not going to sit down in the water. The new LEDs that are out nowadays are only 1 inch thick. They're fantastic because you can mount them directly to the top part here and it won't affect the actual tank. It's not going to get in the water. They're completely enclosed systems for lighting.
yeah.
But yeah, you just want to make sure that your light is not going to be sitting inside of the water. The worst thing you want to have is an electrical problem and fry all your fish.
That's it, yeah. If you like what we're doing, subscribe. Next video is lighting and filtration, baby. TV tank on.